same purpose. For the eye drops, I'm using CO2 water, not the Gans of CO2. I explained this, you're not the first one to hear, but I explained this yesterday with the teaching with the doctors. It's well known around the people who know me, I suffer from degeneration of eye, which means I'm losing my sight slowly in different dimensions. And I even switched from a normal telephone to retina screens just to be able to read at least easier. Now that we have launched the Gans water for eye as an eye drop, I started using the eye drop water Gans in my eyes last Sunday. I explained this in the medical teaching yesterday. And I could not see, even reading the phone, from the mobile phone, I had to concentrate, narrow my eyes that I could see the pictures. I changed to a bigger screen in past couple of weeks to be able to see more. And first time I used the eye drop in my eyes, I had a strange headache, a strange tinkling feeling in the back of my brain. When I used it the second time, I had the tinkling on my tongue. It was very strange for about hours. But since literally the first day, since Monday, I can see what I could not see before. This morning, just because I come on the presentation, I was with Caroline in my office, and the table is the paper is about 2 meters away from me on the table and her. I said, Caroline, look, I can read the number. It's 16042016. She said, you can read from this distance now. I said, I don't know. I can see a new world. I feel the pressure in my eye has changed. You know, your eyes narrows down and your facial pressure changes. Now I feel relaxation in my face because I don't need to concentrate. Now I could not see at night. Yesterday I see totally new, different world. So I'm testing the Gans water directly into my own eyes because I suffer badly. It's suffering when I go to sleep at night. I had a lot of pressure in my eyes all the time. This morning I woke up with no pressure. It was a pleasure to be young again. I can see better. I was sitting in here. If you come in the auditorium, I was sitting on the second row. Many times in past year, being here, I sit on these chairs while you lot teach, and I try to look. I can't read. I know the book is there. Is my books on the table. Now from here, I can read it, the word what they are. I'm about 5 meters, 10 meters away. I can read the books. I couldn't. And that's in 4 days of just spraying some Gans water of the CO2 into my eye. Because if I deliver a technology, I have to be standing the test of the technology myself. So I see the difference. So you can try it safely. There are thousands of people with eye degeneration. It has worked on me. But as I said yesterday to the doctors, I'm not interested in me seeing better. What I'm interested in is why in changing the condition of my eye, the tongue nerves reacted. This is a strange point. What has the eyes got to do with the nerves of the tongue? Why my pain in the back of my head where there is a section in regarding the writing had a problem. I'm left-handed. I stopped writing because I can't see properly. Now it means when you adjust the eye, everything else in the body of the man, in the brain, which adjusted itself for your disability, which is coming up, now is recorrecting itself too. You understand? Look at it is nothing compared to what is delivering. As part of this, as I explained on last week or last Tuesday, I started using the CO2 Gans for myself because I suffer from a very bad eye degeneration. Now we see the process. I can see at this moment what we can report like a testimonial. I could not see or read from 10 centimeter, 20 centimeter. I changed, as I said, my phone from normal to retina to be able to use a larger screen to see. This is 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. We can provide the purchase bill for the units because I could not see. 8 days ago, 9 days ago, on Sunday, I started using the Gans water of CO2 on my own eyes because it's becoming critical. Sight was not easy. At night, it wasn't easy. Concentration, lack of seeing, and when you see, you frown, try to concentrate to see little words. You try to do all sorts of things. Now, if they put a camera, I can show you, I'm about maybe 10 meters away from my own book on the table. I can tell you where the D is. It says the origin of the universe. I can tell you the size, the shape, and everything else. And maybe now, 10 meters away, I can see the words, letters clearly on the book. This was impossible. I've been teaching in this room for nearly a year now. I had to go close to my book to be able to read, and I always said to myself, would there be a day that I cannot see my own writing anymore? Not anymore at this moment. I stood, Giovanni, in the office of the government. We were together in an office on Monday. We were in the office on Monday, in the corridor, and I said, Giovanni, I can read from the other side. He said, I can see, but not really. This is there. But I could see the word better than he does. Yeah, he's laughing because he knows what I'm talking about. So I'm testing the Gans water of CO2 directly. I put it in a bottle, a spray bottle, little spray bottles. I shake it every now and then, fill it up with the water from the tap, let it settle totally, and I just spray it directly into my eye. 2 or 3 spray, both eyes, and then I rub the water of the Gans around my eyes, because on the side of the eye, when you receive your units, when you receive your drops, just don't drop it in the eye, because the change in the structure of the eyeball, as it's changed and create cataract or anything else, it has changed the construction and the structure of the eyelashes too. It has changed the structure of the muscles around the eye to accommodate the changes of the eyeball. So when you use it, rub the extra liquid around your face, around your eye, around the muscles, and what we have seen from the report from the doctors yesterday, the presence of the CO2 allows the generation possible of new tissues. That it means you can change, if there is any changes, it balances it. If it's a need, it most probably builds it. So, but you see different changes. I can tell you day by day, as I reported before, on a Sunday night, the first time I used it, I had a very pressure on certain part of my brain. As I know the physiology of man, it was pressure on my writing. On the right side, I'm left-handed. So it showed my sight has affected my writing. I had to write in different way that my sight could adjust. So that was the first thing. The next day, as I reported to the doctors the following last Wednesday, not this Thursday, yesterday, that I had a start change in the strength of the tip of my tongue. Sometimes I still feel that. It's like that my eye has something in a direct way affects my taste or the operation of my tongue, because as body assumes that you're most probably going blind, it has to strengthen the other organs. How would you taste or understand the smell of the banana? Now you can't see. So a lot we can explain. So when you go through a degeneration of the eye or loss of the sight, body starts programming other part of the body to become stronger to replace it. I didn't see Much changes. A little bit, you put it as a daily occurrence in your lifetime. But again, on Monday, Tuesday, especially yesterday morning, I felt a very heavy pressure in my eyeballs. It was just as they're coming out of the socket, but the pressure was internal. I couldn't put a finger on it, but it was there. It was something happening. It was just like a lot of muscles were moving to adjust themselves, but pulling and pushing. On Sunday, I noticed I couldn't read properly anymore. I was back into position. I said to Caroline, I can't read. I'm losing my sight again. Something's gone wrong. It worked for a few days. Then I realized, no, something has changed. I see the same light, but there is a problem. Because in past 10 years, 15 years with this eye degeneration, I've been pulling the muscles of my eye and closing my eyes. I used to put a little finger hole in front of my face that I could see from distance to read things. Now, the change was different. I didn't have to, I had to open my eyes that I could read, because now I was going the reverse process. Where before I was frowning and looking at the light to be able to read, now I had to open. When I opened my eyes, I start seeing better. And my son said, Papa, you look frightening. I said, I can't believe it as well, but if this is good way, at least I can see you better now. And it is. You go like this, because now you see different light. So it means the whole body is restructuring. And then I realized in that process that there is some weakness on the right side of the muscle of the right eye, because you could see feeling laziness, because most probably the other muscles have pulled, this has lost its strength. But now I feel it's coming to balance. I don't feel that laziness on one muscle. So this is how we're developing this technology. This is how I have used it. This is what is done to me. In less than 10 days, I can read near normal, but I have to adjust because a lot of adjustment has been done. Very strange thing is, past 2 days, the food tastes different to me. Very different. Why? I don't know. But it tastes good. It tastes something which is desirable to eat, but it creates a lot of hunger. It creates enormous amount of hunger. But why does it do that? Has it changed the habit by not looking at the light in different way? Does it use a lot of energy to relocate and reorganize, that energy shows itself as a hunger? Is the body reorganizing itself and needs a lot of mental and physical energy? Is it part of the process, how it is? I put my testimonial as part in the writing of the testimonial of using of CO2.
Let's see. There was a question that I suppose you can answer quickly, perhaps, about Don asks about regenerating eye disease, and can anything be done about that genetic hereditary involving the rods and cones of the eyes? It's called RP, or retinitis pigmentosa.
A good friend of mine in England years ago became blind because of these kind of conditions. Young man in his early 30s. And we watched him more or less day by day, slowly losing more. I suffer from this same kind of degeneration personally, and as we said, hopefully this week we receive the certification that we can start delivering the materials to the, as per what we call it, delivery of the different Ganses for test for eyes. There are two aspects into the eye degeneration and the condition of the degeneration. One is if it is genetic, as we have seen through mg crowds. The degeneration, or what is to be what we call genetic, can be from now on handled in a very easy way. Partially through the emotion and partially through understanding of what physically is needed. So when you have an eye problem, you have to, can I have the white screen please? When you have an eye problem, you have to consider in how has led to what it is at that point. You have an eye. Through your eyes, you see the world. I'm not a very good artist. It should be like this. What does the eye do? It transfers matter state to the emotion of the man, to the physicality of the man, and what the man will show with what he sees. Do we want to see more of murder and abuse? No. Will we have a choice in it? No. I would like to be blind. Eyes shall not see. As I've said many times, shame to be born in the skin of the man, to be so abusive and continuous with what he does. So your eye has to be treated in 3 different ways. You can use the Gans of CO2 for connection between physicality and the emotion. You can use the water of the Gans of that what you see through the emotion of the sight can satisfy to elevate the soul of the man that needs support. You need to give energy to reproduction of the cells that they want to support the change in both. So you need a CH3. Some, as you know, are always given by percentage, by part per 10, maybe 4 to 5 drops of CO2, 1 drop of zinc oxide. There is a need for the growth, maybe 2 drops, somewhere here between 2 and 1. But you have to understand this is to do with a vision and how you have placed the change in yourself genetically. I do not want to see. I make myself blind. So it has come maybe in your ancestors, in your past generation, they have seen such a horrors that they did not want to see. Their wish was, I wish I was dead that I could not see this. So genetically, what you do, you blind yourself to the reality. I wish I was blind not to see whatever. And it becomes part of your inherent DNA or RNA, the wishes of the man conversion. But there is a physical part into the eye. The eye has muscles which positions it. Eye has muscles which brings focus. It retracts. So in that process, if partially you have sorted the emotion, but already the muscles have repositioned and retracted or added to themselves, you need a very little amount of CO2 to support the physical muscles too. Maybe half a drop or 1 drop. 1 drop is too much. So you support the communication, you support the emotion, you support the growth in a way the energy needed for conversion, you support the carriers of the eye. When you deal with any part of the human body for change, you have to consider all aspects. the emotional, the physical, the line of communication. Does it need a support? If you have eye cancer, you don't touch the CH3 because that's growth, that's energy. If you're growing a plant and you want it to grow higher or better, you consider CH3. The other thing is, may consider a little bit of the amino acid, a little bit of the amino acid from CO2, not where you made the copper oxide. As I explained in the teachings of the past few weeks, the amino acid on each container is slightly different. If you have, when you do the test, your eye, and you feel weakness in one muscle of the eye that is not pulling or whatever, you add a half a drop of amino acid from the copper oxide, because that amino acid is in mass connection with the muscle tissue. You want to support neural system damage. Somebody who's got a cut finger, somebody who's damaged their nerves. In the Parkinson's, you use amino acid you created from the zinc. Every amino acid is connection between it and the physicality. When you use it as a water in different aspects for growth or whatever, it's different. But when you target for application, you target, you lock it, you find the efficiency and effectiveness very rapidly. What you use for the eye as a gas of copper oxide is not needed by the brain, so it'll be there. If it's no need, it'll be there, no need. If it is, it has to be considered. So if you are looking at degeneration of the eye, then you're looking at the causes of it. If you're looking at the connection of the muscle tissue damage, you have to consider every aspect. These are the things which I teach in the medical side and the doctors, that they understand how to balance the patients in the application. So eye degeneration, because I suffer from this. I tested it. I could not see about 2 months ago properly. I used the CO2 on its own for about 10 days. The sight changed. And a couple of days ago, I said to Caroline, I want to change something in it, because now I need to go to the next development. Because what it could be done with CO2 has been done. Now the muscle is weak, the emotion and the generation is needed. So in the next few days, I will test something new. We are just doing it that it can be done the correct way. I can see better. I don't have the pressure which I had on my eye for nearly 10 years. It's all gone. I can read from a distance, which was an impossibility. But sometimes it gets worse. I don't see at all. But most of the time, I don't have the problem. Why do I need the zinc with oxide? Because I've been fed up looking at the man killing himself for a long time, and I prefer not to see. So my body responds to what I did not want to see. Has the development of technology with the work of the Keshe Foundation supporters in what we see the opening of the door to Universal Council has satisfied the emotion is to be seen. Do I need the eye to see where I can see the soul of the man? So if you have an eye degeneration, this is one of the ways. One of the ways, but you have to look at every angle. You see, everything is supported.